Hello and welcome everyone back to another Caledon crypto video. I hope you guys are doing well, and today we are back with another banger PulseChain video giving you guys the latest and greatest of crypto news. And today we're going to be looking at the current state of the crypto market. Why is it extremely bloody? What does this mean for your altcoin bags? Are we even in a bull run? We're going to be answering all those questions, so watch the whole video through. It's going to get a little bit technical. We're going to do technical analysis, or another way to say it, emotional analysis, because unfortunately, even though you might think we are in an efficient market because everything's digitized, within a split second, everyone knows the latest news. I feel like we are still seeing a lot of people trading emotionally, following the crowd rather than the actual information. So in their eyes, Bitcoin might be overvalued, but in your eyes, our eyes, we know Bitcoin is undervalued. And looking at PulseChain prices today, unfortunately, it is down 10 digits. This is what happens when we are an amplified effect of Ethereum. Another way of saying an altcoin. You guys do need to look at this as a buying opportunity, because as prices go down, your buying power goes up. Because if you look at PDAI right now, it is 193x away from that $1 target. At PwC, 185x. Absolutely crazy. Now, looking at a useful metric here, which is the Bitcoin dominance chart, which is used to identify when is the beginning of an altcoin season. I was expecting the Altseason to start rallying up towards the end of Pump October from 2024, which you guys can see here. It did actually have a small dip of 11% in Bitcoin chart, and that actually ended up making PDAI reach all-time highs. Same with PTGC and a few others. So money was made there, but unfortunately, now the Bitcoin dominance has recovered, and we're still expecting a delayed start to the altcoin season. So what we are seeing right now, guys, it is a pure case of impedance and not the bull run being called off. We are still part of the 4-year cycle where Bitcoin goes 3 out of 4 years and altcoins go 1 every 4 years. So you want to make the best out of it. 2025 is still the year. Do not get that mistaken. Now, in terms of my thought process, how did I come about with that specific date towards the end of Pump October? Is effectively just looking at the previous bull runs. When did they start? And looking at pattern recognition, you can see from the beginning of an altcoin season till the beginning of the next one was around 1,400 days. So if we effectively do 1,400 days from the last bull run's altcoin season to where we are, you can see it landed us exactly on towards the end of Pump October. So that was my thought process, which, by the way, of course, unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball. This was my next best option, and I think actually it quite timed it well. Now, at the end of the day, I do recommend people to be crypto investors rather than traders, because the less number of trades that you do, the less likely you're going to make a wrong move, i.e. Cashing out a profitable trade too soon or realizing a loss when a reversal was going to come very, very soon. Aside from that, it actually lines up pretty well from last year's total crypto markup. You can see towards the end of October is where we had a huge jump in the total crypto markup, breaking that 3 trillion mark. And right now we are definitely in that correction phase. How low can it go? I don't know. But I just wanted to let you guys know that expect things to go slightly lower before we start seeing the trend reversal. That is the only thing I'm going to say, because yes, there are other stuff like the lunar cycle where we have a full lunar eclipse, which is the blood moon. That's going to happen around 14th of March. A lot of people are anticipating that to be a bearish event, but what not a lot of people know about is the solar eclipse that's going to happen towards the end of March, which usually shows or signals a reversal or a bullish event. So there is that. Always keep your hopes up. If you're not short-term price oriented, this is all noise to you. Okay, that's the beautiful thing about being an investor. You don't really care about these short-term price action. At the end of the day, it is just people trading their emotions. And moving on here to the M2 supply versus Bitcoin chart, which a lot of people regard as heavily correlated relationship between the two, and where Bitcoin is actually on a slight delay of around 70 to 75 days. You can see here that the M2 supply is continuously going up, which is great. And if you guys didn't know what is the M2 money supply, which also includes the M1, it is a sum of the liquid cash and the non-liquid cash, as you guys can see from this definition, a measure of the money supply that includes cash, checking deposits, and non-cash assets. And by the way, this also can include stuff like certificate of deposits, and including M1, which is non-cash assets that can be easily converted into cash. As you guys can see here, the M2 supply is continuously going up, which is great in our case and for Bitcoin, showing here that Bitcoin would be at a $103,000 price tag in that mid-term. And we can expect a reversal once Bitcoin catches up to this part, which falls under the 30th of March. Again, this goes back to when I mentioned the solar eclipse that will happen towards the end of March. This will be an eventful month. Fear not, do not doubt this bull run. And of course, this will have a great effect on Ethereum because Ethereum is a leverage of Bitcoin, and hopefully soon we will see the ETH-BTC ratio start recovering past 0.3 mark, and hopefully in the mid to long term towards the local all-time high from the previous bull run, where I'm anticipating it to be around 0.08, which, by the way, if we pull up a calculator, if Bitcoin ends up going to $150,000 and we are at a 0.08 ETH-BTC ratio, that would result in a price of around $12,000. That would be very, very bullish. And likewise, if it goes to 0.1, which is my aspirational target, that would result in a 15,000 price tag for Ethereum. Ladies and gentlemen, Ethereum is not going to go anywhere. A lot of people have been labeling it as the third cycle curse, which I get it, which at the end of the day, I do believe one of the unwritten laws of crypto is that Bitcoin has to stay number one and Ethereum has to stay in number two. The digital gold and the digital silver, they will not go anywhere. And now moving on to the Bitcoin CME futures chart, which is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. A lot of people are noticing the unfilled CME gap. We did get as close to 78,000, but we didn't fully fill it yet. This is kind of a psychological thing, not really a rule that needs to happen where a CME gap needs to be filled before we go any higher, but do have this as an expectation within the short term, where this is exactly what I mean, as we might see things go slightly lower before we see a true reversal. And I'm going to change your mind, and I hope you're going to leave this video feeling more bullish about the bull run and your current altcoin holdings. Carry on believing and have a long-term mindset. Delay your gratification. Now moving on to the Bitcoin liquidation map, you can see right now the current Bitcoin price is around 84,000. Ladies and gentlemen, if we change that right now to 30 days, which shows kind of a long-term play here, if Bitcoin goes to a price of 95,000, we would liquidate almost 2 billion of cumulative shorts. This is absolutely bullish because now that actually acts kind of like a magnet price for Bitcoin. Now, this is not equal on the other side, because if we go all the way down to 75,000 priced Bitcoin, it would only result in around an 73 million in cumulative long liquidation. So this really says a lot for Bitcoin's downside risk, presenting a more bullish long-term position here at a magnet price of $95,000, which is very bullish. Moving on, here is another metric which is really great. One of the factors of a quantitative easing is the reduction in interest rates, and this is a great website here that shows almost all the countries and their current interest rate compared to their previous interest rate change. And you guys can see here almost every single country here is reducing interest rate, which again encourages businesses, retailers, institutions to borrow more money, to buy more risk on assets. Guys, this is really great for the economy. It is stimulating growth. And this correlates nicely to the global liquidity cycle, which is something that I talk a lot about in my members exclusive videos. So if you guys didn't know, you can become a YouTube member, choose to support a small channel, and you will get access to the 5-video series, which I'm going to keep adding to it. The latest video was about the pitfalls and that 95% of crypto traders and investors will fall under. So if you want to learn more about that, you can become a YouTube member. Thank you very much. Now, going back to the global liquidity, if you guys didn't know what is it, it also includes the M1 and M2 supply, but a few other factors such as the balance sheets of all the central banks and their money creation metrics as well. So you guys can see this is kind of a cyclical nature, goes hand to hand with the Bitcoin halving, goes hand to hand with the business cycle in general, and how, with every boom, there's always going to be a bust. It is effectively a pendulum swing, and you guys can see right here, this is around 2025 where we're expecting to have a peak, where that's going to be the beginning of a correction at around 2026. So this is why I tell you 2025 is still the year where you have the highest chances of making that generational wealth. This is the year where the stars are aligning. So please do not feed into the self-doubt that a lot of the big influencers are telling you. So please do not doubt your bags, delay gratification, and be careful from those big influencers that are claiming to be crypto gurus that are telling you the bull market is already over. where you might realize your losses and then FOMO back in when the altcoin season actually rallies up, and you're going to be paying at more expensive prices. It's not a win-win. So please be careful. Have your own thought process. Always diversify, not also in the projects that you're investing in, but also in the streams of information. So please do not be limited to one perspective. And this goes the same with me. So I recommend looking at other PulseChain channels as well to see what other people are doing, because I, guys, cannot cover every single project on PulseChain. But before we move on, I'm also going to be answering some of the comments that were left in my previous video. Pretty sure we retraced back to bear market numbers. These videos are just coping mechanisms. Now, he's referring to how the SEC case did not result in the core ecosystem appreciating in value and stuff like this. Ladies and gentlemen, as I spoke about, this is just one factor. It is kind of a long-term effect. We are starting to see a sentimental shift about what people think about PulseChain, what people think about Richard Heart. This stuff takes time. And number three, and I said this a lot, you have to zoom out if you're ever in doubt. Ethereum is not doing well. We're not going to expect any altcoin to do well. So please be careful. I feel like the result of the SEC being beat by Richard Heart, thanks to the Judge Carroll, is actually going to increase the bandwidth, or effectively increase the potential current for PulseChain, but we still are requiring that power to come through. And again, this power will come through once we see Ethereum starting to reverse. So please be patient. PulseChain is still a leverage of Ethereum. You have to believe in Ethereum if you believe in PulseChain, guys. Okay? At the end of the day, PulseChain was actually created to deload Ethereum. This is what Richard Heart said. Moving on to the second comment here, people you know who are millionaires got into Hex at the start, sold the top and walked away. You won't share that though. People are burnt out with this ecosystem. Now my answer here is quite simple, and it's the fact that crypto is a solo sport. We are all here at the end of the day to make money. So you cannot blame someone else who understands the crypto market, where, hey, there's going to be a bear market followed by every bull market. So people who bought to the bottom, sold at the top, that is exactly how you're supposed to play games. It is up to you if you want to stay within the ecosystem for anything beyond that. Now, I'm not going to blame it if someone messaged me and said, hey, Khaled, I sold my PDAI bags for a 10x to jump into another thing. I'm not going to blame them. It is their decision. It is their choice. We are in a free market. Anyone can do whatever they want. Moving on to the next comment here. Love your content. You just don't know how much the market is affected by YouTubers. And this is unfortunately very, very true. Retail investors are getting wrecked by listening to the wrong advice. So hopefully from watching my videos, I try to keep my points very logical and back them up with actual events. I try to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So I will tell you this, that PulseChain will not move up unless Ethereum does a reversal. It is simple truth as that. And do remember, at the same time, if everyone is saying that the bull market is over, that we will not see an altcoin season, that's exactly when the contrarian will happen. Okay, and I've said this in the previous video. Bull runs are born on pessimism, they grow on skepticism, they mature on optimism, and they die on euphoria. So a bear market actually starts when we are the most euphoric. That's when the bear market starts. Okay, really deep that in. And to the next comment here, PulseChain is irrelevant as long as Ethereum is irrelevant and underperforming. PulseChain can't break new all-time high without Ethereum new all-time high. Now, this might be a bearish statement, but this is actually very, very true, and it keeps it very simple. Okay, we are an amplified, we are a leverage of Ethereum. Simple as that. Is Ethereum long-term? Yes, I do believe Ethereum is long-term. It has better longevity than Solana. It's an EVM compatible chain. It's the land of wills. It is the second blockchain that really revolutionized the whole crypto ecosystem that we know of today with the implementation of smart contracts. And I wanted to quickly show you guys the World Liberty Finance crypto holdings. And if you guys didn't know, this is backed by Donald Trump, Eric Trump, Donald Trump Jr., and Barron Trump, which aims to strengthen the US dollar's global status in the DeFi space, explore its crypto portfolio holdings, including Bitcoin and Ethereum, and its innovative vision for digital finance. So scrolling down, it shows us here the pie chart where the majority holding is in Ethereum. So guys, again, follow the smart money. It is not necessarily immediately reflected by the price chart. Okay, you have to follow the smart money. You will see that Ethereum is number one, with number two being Bitcoin, number three being a stable coin, and a few others down here. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I have extremely bullish videos that are coming next, so make sure to turn that notification bell on. If you guys want to support me, please check out my course, link in the description, which talks about the crypto operational security. Secure yourself, understand the landscape and the attack vectors and how you can mitigate against them. It's better to be safe than sorry. Complacency is a major risk. So give the course a read, link in the description below, see if it's for you, and you don't even have to hear it from me. This is a rating here, in-depth, straight to the point, and a good mix of theory and practical. I recommend the course if you are serious about keeping your crypto safe. Cheers, Khaled. So thank you very, very much. Guys, I'm going to end the video there. You can become a YouTube member. My donation address is in the description. You guys are absolutely amazing. Comment down below, what do you think of this video? It helps boost this video in the YouTube algorithm. As well, don't forget to join my community, link in the description. Be part of the conversation. Don't be left alone in these bearish times. And I'll catch you in the next one. Remember, trust in the process and trust in God. Take care.